Hi my dear friend. Today, I'd like to introduce a new embroidery pattern of mine. The green colored flowers are really beautiful. The embroidery pattern is 8 inches wide and stitched on a small circular frame. In previous videos, I usually embroidered on larger dimensions and square frames. Today, I will design an embroidery pattern of flowers on a smaller circular frame. I hope you also enjoy this embroidery pattern of mine. You can also download this pattern for free through the link in the description. Day 1. On the first day, I spent time designing the embroidery pattern. First, I use a computer to sketch out the embroidery design. Then, I'll create a draft on a plastic piece by poking the needle. The embroidery pattern on the plastic piece consists of the perforated lines created by the needle. After that, I use this plastic sheet to print the embroidery pattern onto the fabric. I use a specialized type of ink. Some of you have asked me about this type of ink. I bought it in my craft village. I also don't know how to make it. It's quite unique because I haven't seen it available elsewhere. It doesn't spread out on the fabric, and once the ink dries, it doesn't fade. This type of ink has been around in my craft village for a long time. I've finished creating the pattern on the fabric. You find it quite beautiful, don't you? If you like, you can download the image in the description section. Day 2. On the second day, I start embroidering. The first thing I do is choose the thread for this embroidery pattern. I have 2 types of thread that are suitable for this pattern. Those are cotton thread and synthetic shiny silk thread. It's not natural silk, but I consider its quality to be quite comparable, and it will be a bit easier to embroider compared to natural silk thread. In this embroidery pattern, I use cotton thread. With this type of thread, it will give a more realistic color perception, due to its moderate luster, not too shiny. If you prefer it to be brighter and shinier, you can choose the silk embroidery thread. There's one thing I'd like to mention to you as well. The color codes for the threads are ones I've assigned myself. I don't know how other companies label their thread colors, but I came up with my own system to manage them easily. If you're interested, you can find them on my Etsy online store. I'll leave the link to my shop in the description section. For this embroidery design, I use 4 thread color codes. The color codes starting with the letters A, C, and P are my cotton threads. Here's the thread color chart. I will blend these colors for this embroidery pattern. My original idea is to use shades of blue, green, and white as the main theme. Right from the beginning, I want to give it a slightly unique and unconventional color tone. Follow along to see how the results turn out. There will be many color transitions to create a sense of harmony and balance. I believe you'll enjoy these stitching sections in the next part. Okay, let's go. Starting with the flower petals, using white thread, code AT60. There are 6 strands in a large strand cluster, and I'm using 2 strands here. The needle for stitching with 2 strands is also the smallest size in my collection. For this petal section, I'm using staggered stab stitches, with both long and short stabs. This is the simplest and most commonly used embroidery technique in our designs. I will transition the color here, gradually shifting from the white tone to blue, code PT09. Using 2 strands of PT09 thread. Now, the flower stamen embroidery. For the stamen, I'll use 6 strands of thread, so I'll use this larger needle. The thread color is orange, code PT65. I'll move on to the leaf embroidery, using thread color PT18. I'll also use 2 strands of thread for this part. This is the completed embroidery. What do you think of it? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you so much for joining me all the way to the end of the video, and joining me in completing this embroidery. Once again, thank you very much. In this last part, allow me to introduce our Etsy shop to you. If you're interested in an embroidery kit for this pattern or this beautiful completed embroidery, please visit our Etsy shop. In our shop has many types of embroidery threads, fabrics, and embroidery artworks. Feel free to browse and choose your favorites. Thank you very much. See you in the next embroidery designs.